We're here. We're back. We're gonna get right to this. This is the We Trying channel. I'm Michael.
I'm Leroy. Just another Mando Monday. Wish it was Sunday.
Do you know any of the other words?
Don't
I feel
know
like that's all you know.
anything.
Okay, cool.
Pew
Yeah,
pew 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 pew.
Mandalorian
Pass
season
these on.
3 trailer came out from that horrible showing from the Buccaneers.
Didn't bother to watch it. I was waiting for Bane to show up to come out of the stands and an earthquake to swallow both teams. We at 30 seconds, yes? Finally. Buck Tampa Bay, buck the Cowboys.
It's
Hate
fantastic.
both of them.
Okay,
Didn't
uh,
even watch the game.
great. At that, let's get to this. We want to see what this is, so let's see what we got.
Yeah.
Mandalorian season 3. Here we go.
Left his wife to lose in a football game.
Our people are scattered like stars in the galaxy.
These people.
What are we? What do we stand for?
Man, Boba Fett was garbage.
Being a Mandalorian's not just learning
So
about
was
how to
Tom.
fight. You also have to know how to navigate the galaxy.
Look at him teaching his son.
That way, you'll never be lost.
Mando!
The armor. Hey, girl.
That's your
Emily
friend.
Swallow.
That's our friend.
She's coming back to
So
Greenwood.
that I may be forgiven for my transgressions.
Oh, wait, are they going to Mandalore?
The force be with you!
This is the way.
There's something dangerous happening out there. And by the time it becomes big enough for you to act, it'll be too late.
Kim's Convenience.
Indeed.
Whoa, whoa.
Hang on, kid.
Wait.
This is the way.
Come on, man. Yeah. You weren't about to mess with Yobi.
You know what's Jedi we saw?
um, let's go in here and
Was that Jedi? I know we saw Paz Vizsla. Saw my boy Paz. That's Coruscant. That's Kim's
turn it
Convenience.
down. We'll see. Kim's Convenience. He has a real name.
He's always going to be Kim's Convenience to me. So,
Those look like Jedi. You want me to pause it?
no, yeah, those are Jedi.
Uh-huh.
What ship was that? Did you notice that? Those were TIE fighters, correct?
Where?
I can't do it. Go back. Right there.
Oh,
Those are
yeah.
TIE fighters.
Yeah.
And those aren't regular TIE. Go back. Those look like. Oh yeah, those aren't regular TIE fighters.
I mean, that might be like what TIE interceptors in there and stuff too. Yeah.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you?
Regular TIE fighters, if you remember, those are like that's the grunts. The interceptors, you gotta be big to have it. You gotta be decent to be an interceptor pilot.
Mhm.
If you remember anything from the Star Wars Squadron games, those were not easy ships. They were, if I remember correctly, they were faster. They were more powerful.
Right. But what I'm
Um,
saying is, when you see that, what does that mean to you in terms of the story?
Uh, somebody ain't fucking around.
Okay. I mean, I thought we already knew that.
Yeah, like when I see that those type of ships, usually those are higher ups. And remember, Vader had an Vader's ship was a better interceptor.
Sure.
So right now we're seeing more Mandalorians. Oh, and the ones in the back, if I remember. So here's the thing: when did these guys show up? So basically, remember the Mandalorian faction that he's a part of were the Colts that never took off their helmets. They're the ones who are extreme. So that's a part of this line. We saw Paz Visa My question is, will Boba Fett show up? We know Bo-Katan, Starbucks shows up in this. We see the armorer. We did not see the dark saber.
Right. I mean, we should. Who has the dark saber right now?
He still has it.
He does. Okay. Yeah.
And here's another thing we don't know. So the planets we've seen so far looks like Mandalore. Look, we know that's Coruscant. Um, so is this a flashback?
I don't know. This just looks great. I just keep looking and just staring like,
It
ooh, I can't
does.
wait for this. March
It
1st,
does.
man.
March 1st.
I wonder what this is going to be like in a post Andor show world.
What do you mean?
Because I think a lot of people are like, oh, Andor is the best thing that's come out of Star Wars in a long time. I've definitely heard that from people to say Andor is the best thing, even over the Mandalorian.
I have said that in the sense of they're two different type shows. So
Sure.
in my opinion, let's start. So out of everything that has come out since The Force Awakens, what has been your favorite thing?
Probably Mandalorian and Andor. My top two things.
Really?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah,
So for me,
the TV shows have been consistent.
okay.
Andor was just really good that first season, and Mandalorian it's a different show. It's definitely like a nostalgia show in terms of like you're gonna see something. Oh, remember this from Star Wars, and
Mhm.
they do a good job of it.
So for me, it has always been Rogue One, Andor, then The Mandalorian. Only because Rogue One has, like, when I saw Rogue One in theaters, I was like, that's to me when Star Wars pivoted and
Mhm.
did something different. We'd always talked about Star Wars has to be different. It can't just be focused on this 60 years of just the Skywalker family. It needed to be more.
Mhm.
To me, Rogue One was I call it the Dirty Dozen of Star Wars. It was, you got to see the behind the scenes of how the rebellion actually worked, whereas the original trilogies were like the spectacle, like the good versus evil. Rogue One was in the dirt. Andor, which I honestly did not want in the beginning. I was one of those people who's like, I don't need a prequel because the prequels are never good.
Mhm.
And I was blown away. I was wrong. I was old girl from Prometheus. We were wrong. We were very wrong. I was wrong. Andor has proven to be better than The Mandalorian because The Mandalorian, even though it is a good show, is basically at times very much fan service.
Sure.
It does give you that, oh my gosh, did you see that? But there are episodes that are just so much better than others, whereas Andor just kept building that tension.
Mhm.
I am excited for this because I think as they learn and they grow, they're getting better. Um, I think there is less filler, but here's the big problem that I think Andor doesn't have, where Mandalorian does. How do you end this show? Like, where does this show go? Like, what is the final swan song? How many seasons are you going to get? Because just like anything else, it may run its course. Some of the best shows knew when to end.
Sure.
Um,
I don't think this is going to be that show. I
I,
think this show is going to run longer than it needs to,
and
just because. And I
there you
don't think
go,
that's a fault of who runs this.
John Favreau.
I thought it was the other guy.
No, John Favreau and Dave Filoni.
Yeah. Okay. So both of them. I don't think. I think they probably have an idea when they want to stop it. I think Disney's like, nah, we not doing great, so we need y'all to keep making this.
see, and
And I see that being a very possible thing.
see that's where I'm scared of that you get so many different like moments where, and I don't want to say that Mandalorian is bad. I don't want people to take that I think the Mandalorian is bad or anything like that. I just think it's the Mandalorian is what people wanted the last three movies to be, to give you that fill in the blank. What happens to these characters that you knew? To me, the Mandalorian is really Boba Fett show. If Boba show never existed, I'm quite okay with that
Mhm.
because I think with Boba Fett, they spent so much time trying to figure out who he was going to be, and they took all those ideas and did nothing good, in my opinion, with it. And while they were trying to figure that out, the Mandalorian showed up, and it was like, this is the show that Boba Fett should have been. And Boba Fett show was like, really? The best episode in the Boba Fett show was when Mandalorian showed up.
Yeah.
So if they don't go back to that, well, I'm perfectly fine with that. But I am scared, just like you are, they don't know how to end this show. Whereas Andor honestly had an easier hill to climb. All they got to do is jump a few years in the future and tie that shit off with Rogue One.
Yeah, and I mean, they've said it's only going to be 2 seasons, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I mean,
So,
they knew from the beginning.
like they knew going in. So this is where I think it's harder, because you're having to weave different things together. So we know Ahsoka's alive in this universe. We know Bo-Katan. We know Luke Skywalker. Who else from that time period is still here? See, and they have to wrap this up, because we know the First Order is around, is bubbling. So how do you make that transition? So I'm really interested in this, because I want to see Mandalore. I think that was some of the best in the Clone Wars show. The fall of Mandalore, that final season of Clone Wars might be has some of the best Star Wars in it. But again, I'm biased. I love the Clone Wars. So it's, to me, I'm very interested to see who shows up in this show, because they've done a good job of like, who's shown up this week.
Right, like what characters that have been in like the comic books may now show up or whatever,
or the books.
Yeah.
Or just from Rebels or Clone Wars. Are any of the clones still alive?
We shall see. But March 1st, it's closer than you think. Let us know. Are you guys excited for this trailer? Are you excited for the show to come back? Do you want Mandalorian to go somewhere else? What do you expect in a Mandalorian? Let us know in the comments. I put the supers down here below, but I'll put them up again. We got YouTube and Facebook for We Tryin'. We also got We Tryin' Y'all at Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. Leroy has been doing a good job of keeping our Twitch page active. Probably streaming at least almost every night, or at least on a weekday. Yeah. He's playing. He's a night hooligan. Is that what you titled
it's called? Night City's Hooligan.
Night City's Hooligan. There we go.
So here's a little behind the scenes. So I was playing and I was getting good, and I tried some Christmas beer because I really liked that. It was really cold. So I thought I had a higher tolerance. Then I realized I bought beer that was a little more potent than I thought it was. So like normal beer has right around that 4 to 5 ABV, maybe 5 or 6, it goes right there. So Christmas beer I bought had 10 and 7. So I was knocking those back. And then it was like I'm like, what the fuck is going on in this game? And what was I drinking? Because I got to the part, spoiler alert for those of you but I mean, you see it in the trailer. I got to the part where Jackie dies. And then I'm past that part. Johnny Silverhands is introduced. And I'm like,
you don't remember how you got there?
It took me a minute. So I booted it back up the other night. And Zaylin Maru was like, hey, man, I may have to, I wasn't really feeling this game. So, we were talking, he was talking about it. I was like, I'm going to be honest with you, Zaylin. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Because I forgot. Because I woke up, I was like, whoa, I'm a little more gone. Because normally, you get a buzz on, you feeling it, you're doing jobs and stuff. Man, that Johnny Silverhand stuff on that Christmas beer, I'm being honest with you, almost restarted the game.
Wow, there we go. Glowing endorsement of Christmas beer. Apparently, makes you forget everything.
Hey man, all I'm saying is I'm playing it. Y'all come watch me play it. I try to play it just about every night, at least an hour. I really like it. I'm really impressed with what they've done with it. I do wish a little bit more people were in it, like the city looked a little bit more lively, but I'm really liking it. So join us on Twitch.
There we go. All right. With that, we out.